people of Quraysh and let them go back. These two things, they have no strong narration. Al-Bukhari narrated that as hadith munkar, as he rejected that narration completely. But he mentioned that was hadith munkar. The two references that goes into is Musnad Ahmad and Al-Bazzar. In Musnad Ahmad there's only the story about the spider web, and in Al-Bazzar it's about both. Just to be aware that the hadith, the authentic hadith, does not mention this, although it's very famous in our history. After that, they looked and searched around Mecca, north, south, west, east, there is nothing. Then after that was over, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam started getting out of the cave of Thawr and heading towards Yathrib. And they had a guide. His name was Abdullah ibn Urayqit al-Laythi. Abdullah ibn Urayqit was their guide. He knew the desert very well. He knew the routes, every in and out of the mountains, the desert, and every place in that area. And he was not a Muslim. He was a mushrik. He was an unbeliever. And on the night of Monday, the 1st of Rabi' al-Awwal, on the first year of Hijrah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam leaves the cave of Thawr, and that was around 16th of September on the year 622. Abdullah came to them with 2 camels, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave him one of them. And then Asma came with what we call as-safra or az-zuwada. They came with the food that the traveler would take with them on a long journey. And when she left the house, she forgot to bring a big sack with her. She was in a hurry and she was hiding from everybody. So she took her belt, which was thick, and she tore it in half, and she put one back on her, and the other one she encircled and took the food with her. So that one belt became 2, and she had a title from that day, Zatun Nitaqain, the one with 2 belts. And that's why, and Asma, by the way, she is the wife of Az-Zubayr ibn al-Awwam, and the mother of the great Mujahid, Abdullah ibn Zubayr. May Allah be pleased with all of them. And then they started walking out. They left Mecca and they went south. So now they went west after that. SubhanAllah, all these maneuvers. They're very aware of how to mislead those who are chasing them. So they went towards the coast of Tuhama on the Red Sea. So they went west, and then from then they started heading north to Medina. And on Al-Bukhari, there are many, just a few events that happened to them on the way to Medina, and we, inshallah, narrate will mention them. One of them that they took a shadow and under a huge rock, and a shepherd came to them. So Abu Bakr asked them to get them some milk out of the sheep, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asleep. So Abu Bakr buys that milk, and when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wakes up, he gives them that milk. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send them that shepherd in that desert where there's nobody there. So they get the milk. And then Abu Bakr, they had one camel between him and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then he would put Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the front, and he would sit back there in the back of the camel. And then some people would ask Abu Bakr, who is this with you? Abu Bakr looked older than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he looked like he was on the back of the camel a little higher, and he looked like he is the one that is in charge. So they would, and he was more known in that area of Arabia. So they would ask him, who is this with you, Abu Bakr? And he said, this is the one that guides me to the way. And he was not lying about this. He said, هذا الذي يهديني الطريق. And he is the one that is guiding all of us to the way, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he would not tell anybody who is that with him. On the way, they started going into the territory of the people of Bani Mudlaj. there. And then somebody came to their tribe and told them, I've seen people buy the cost of Tihama, and they may be Muhammad and his companion. And Sirah wanted to take all the prize to himself. It's 100 camels, and it's a big honor to be the capturer of this one, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So he wanted to keep it all to himself. So he told his people, no, that is not Muhammad. That is somebody so and so. I know what they were going for, and I send them there, and that's not Muhammad. Don't worry about it. So they believed him, and everybody sat, and he sat with them. And then later on, he waited until everybody went, and then he got on his horse, and he started chasing after Rasulullah. He took his weapon, and he started chasing after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr. And then he said, and this is Sirah that is narrating this after he became Muslim later on. And he said, after I stayed like for about an hour or more, everybody left, and I started chasing after them. And I took my sword, and I took my weapon, and I started chasing them until I got close to them, and I was getting closer and closing in on them. Then my horse trips, and I fall off the back of my horse. And I never fell off the back of my horse or any horse. He was such a good horseman that he never fell off of any horse. He said, this is the first time that happens to me. So I stood up, got my horse again, got on it again, and started chasing after them. 2-3 steps, and I fall back down to the ground again. What is this story? He never fell before. And then he started, and he said, well, I took al-azlam. Al-azlam are those little birds that they say do and do not do. And I started making a lottery to see, should I chase after them or not? And then the one I pulled said, do not do. Do not chase after those. And I didn't like that. So I started chasing after them again. And I fell again. Then I took my azlam again, and I pulled that one, and it said, do not do. And I still got on my horse, and I chased after them. And I fell again. Then I knew that this is not going to happen. And I started calling after Rasulullah, and he was reciting the Quran, and he did not even look one way or the other through the whole time. Only Abu Bakr was looking at me, and he was kind of anxious. But Rasulullah, he was just reciting Quran peacefully on his way. He doesn't care about this man that's got the sword and the horse and coming to kill him. He was very safe and peaceful. Then I started calling, and I called them with safety. I said, you are safe. I will not chase after you. And then they asked me to come. And then I got on my horse, I got to them, and I was not tripping. I was just fine. Then when he gave them the safety. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started talking to him, and he said, "Akhfi anna." Do not tell anybody that we are going out of this way to Medina. Then I asked Rasulullah, Sirah said, to give me a letter, to give me protection and safety from him, from Rasulullah, because I knew that Muhammad will become the leader of Arabia. There is no question that this man will not succeed on his endeavor. So he gave me a letter that Abu Bakr wrote, that this is aman, this is a safe call from Muhammad to Sirah bin Malik. And I kept it with me. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me something that is very weird and very strange. This man that is fleeing on a horse of a camel in the middle of the desert, and everybody is after his head for 100 camel, he asked me, would you like to wear the braces of Kisra, ya Sirah? Kisra, the emperor of Persia, to me, Sirah? He said, Muhammad was started to promise me that. And I said, yes. And Muhammad said, then you will wear them. And then Sirah got on his horse and went back to his people, and he told them, I looked and checked things out, and there is nobody on this direction. The book that Rasulullah said, the letter that Rasulullah ﷺ gave to Sirah kept it with him until the day of Hunayn and At-Ta'if. And Sirah was taken as a prisoner, a non-Muslim prisoner with the Muslims, and he was taken into slavery. and then he took the letter out, and he said, I have a safety letter from your Prophet. And then they said, give it to us. And they looked at it. It looks like something. So they took it to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and they said, is this true, Ya Rasulullah? And he said, يَوْمَ وَفَاءٍ وَعَهْدٍ. This is a day of fulfilling your promises. And he let them go free. So that letter, as he let Abu Bakr and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam go free, that helped them to go free on that day. And then after the conquest of Persia, the treasures of Kisra came to Medina, and Umar ibn al-Khattab himself makes Suraqa, wears the bracelets of Kisra, and he asked him to raise his hands and show the entire people in Medina how the promise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was fulfilled, and the miracle of Allah was fulfilled. And here's that Bedouin, Suraqa ibn Malik, is wearing the bracelets of Kisra ibn Hurmuz. Another event, quickly we go about that, is